Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Yeah. Yes, sir. Soldier slaughter. Way too quota to wait for older. Back again on my IG. I put the SIP out on the real G. He was a workout phenom. Fit as a fiddle. Just sometime this month or late last month, he collapsed during, I think, what was a live in the gym. He collapsed. So, a salute. RIP for that gentleman that lost his life. I don't think they had the autopsy reports last time I checked. Checking in once again. Like Edward DJ Lynn, my friend. Yes, sir. Active Moors, more active. Chief Rod, Young L, Young L TV. Been putting out some material, and a few other channels have been having Chief Rod Hayes, Chief Pontiac, Rod Hayes, Sick Ape, $SIK, APE. If you want to get on and be strong, pause for the cause, dig off in them pants just above your drawers, and you know, my Cash App is $HAWTYYY, capital REDDD, right? Only thing capital is the R. The S is substituted by that $sign that's prerequisite before that little hashtag name or whatever. I just let the $sign be the S, like Todd Shaw. Bitch, you want to sock it in my pocket so I can take off like a rocket? You know what I'm talking about? Right? So, once again, RIP. I forget his name. I got him on my IG. I got him off, I think that was Mo Dollar, the DJ. Dog side DJ Mo Dollar. Miami DJ Mo Dollar. Lil Haiti. I think that was her page. We have a new type of sun up there. Some people argue that it's two up there. Right? It is not burning the same time, same way. Yes, I knew there. It is Ata. Yes, Ata. And in the ancient hieroglyphics, they have prophecies of a time when God was going to come and destroy the devil, quote unquote, or the wicked. And their God, one of the principal gods, at times, throughout the times, was Re, or Ra, symbolized by none other than the sun disk of our so-called solar system that John D. Rockefeller, Frederick T. Gates tell us is my very educated mother just showed us 9 planets circling around, orbiting around the sun. Master Fard Muhammad said the earth is 93 million miles away from the sun. Right? Actual facts. Supreme mathematics. I skipped H. I went in Islam, Morse. I guess we on J1. The first alpha code for designation, chronological order designation, was without any number, not even a cipher. So now the second time around through the alphabet though, I use 1. It's the first time using a number after the letter for designation. How many letters in the alphabet gonna get complex, more complex, one round to the next? Somebody easily on the plex. when I remixed it. Yeah. Shouting out to all my people out there who got me to this point where I am now. And I feel so good after that. I did some mountain climbers, a little something else. A little something. I feel so good. I'm about to give away some of my secrets of the things I've been working out on. You know what I'm saying? It's some shit I just got, you know. I just got that. I got to get that more down pat before I share what I shared on Hadley Park in the Nico Achidachi. I got out of the empty city tactic into the Nico Achidachi. Cat stance in English. Nico Achidachi. Right? And the Tewaza was here. I never gave the application for that. Many of you could see that and tell what that probably was because you were practitioners. Common sense say what that probably more likely was. It was a reach in. Down the middle, maybe to a shoulder. Maybe trying to go around the neck. We were just talking about that hole Terrence Bud Crawford had on that individual in the video. Then down the line a few days later, another algorithm brings me a short where instructor allows the Tory, the Uke, to do him like this. Uke got him like this, just above the 7th cervical vertebrae, just below the cranial bone, cupping the medulla. Remember that? And I say he hunched up to get the hand to slide up away from that spot, breaking the hole. Meantime, he got in there, got in here, put his shoulder behind the Torre's shoulder, and used his shoulder to push the shoulder out, and he went off into his Russian, you can't see me, into his Russian tie. I immediately, after watching that about 7 times, inboxed Zahalia Anderson, Raw Life, and asked her and her clan to share some of their responses and breakdowns of what you can do if someone tried to put you in the Russian tie. And since the Tory was doing them like this, cup and that, what about that? Now, me personally, I went into the reality that as practitioners, we are very aware of our surroundings. Fructin Hut, Nation of Islam say, I will walk my post in a perfect manner. I will guard my post in a perfect manner. I will guard my post at all times, At all times I will guard my post. And I will walk my post in a perfect manner, right? On your lip. So now, Sensei Jerry Denson, my professor, who taught his class Bushi hands and fight science and all that, pulling heavily from Doc, Sanuki Real Jiu-Jitsu, Frank Ruiz, by way of Sensei Rennie, or Grandmaster now, Lorenzo Whitehead, and Grandmaster Herbie Thompson, to name a few. He says, defend yourself from the universe. So, when it's heated, I made a mistake and close my eyes. Don't do that. You know, we're doing that a lot. Not taking our eyes off the subject too much. I do something like that, like I slammed him, swept him, whoop. He hit the ground real hard, blew, and I know I'm finna go in on him. And I gotta get it, whatever it is. We do things like, here's a good Tommy. Gooseneck. I don't have a Tory. Uke or Tory. If my memory serves me right, who taught me that? Master Raheem Campfield taught me that the Tory is the one that's instructing. He or she, they are going to be doing the Ojiwaza, the technique. The uke receives the action. But he starts off as what? The aggressor. He comes in and does some things. So let's reorientation. Especially human trafficking and bullies. Those are our main problems. Because for the most part, people are not really messing with us, are they? If we are following the Ganache virtual, right? We should always stay in the fighting spirit. It needs to go do karate. We should always practice patience. We should always practice courtesy. We should be quick to seize opportunity. Nothing is impossible. We should always be aware. If we are doing that last one, we should always be aware. Defending ourselves from the universe. Every now and then I want to, if I got to bend over and do something, I got to wait a peep. More and more dogs in the neighborhood are starting to attack people. More and more wildlife that are actually autochthonous to this land mass that we haven't seen for a while, especially in so-called North America or the U.S. The United States, coming back. Wolves, coyotes, jaguars even. In the wild, natural. Not escape from the zoo. Alligators can run upwards to 35, 40 miles per hour, somewhere up in there. Don't quote me on that. Roughly. Run on land. I think they swim faster than they run. So we talking about something like a boat, a motorboat, that speed. While we trying to, never learn to swim. Can't comprehend the stroke. That's why we have to be vigilant. I will always practice courtesy. I will always practice patience. Now, courtesy and patience stops when someone wants to grab you by the head. Right? Eye gouging, poking, face scratching, slapping, choking, grabbing the shoulder, grabbing the cloth. Right? Wrap around the waist, wrap around the arms and the waist. Possibly pick up for a bear hug slam. Wrap around like football style, put the shoulders right up in here. And wrap around the knees, probably put pick up slam or whatever. Human trafficking. Then you have the wrestler type, shoots. Various shoots. They come in like this, real quick. About like this. Cover the ground about 3 to 4 feet. On a slide. Got you. And take you down. They like to shoot. Grapplers. Come from behind you. Same thing with the wrap, from behind. And I'm not getting many likes. I get views. I don't get likes. I don't get shares, subscriptions, and I definitely ain't got no Cashapp. So I could just keep going to the dojo. And when the sensei say anybody has anything to share, anybody have, anyone has, however the grammatics go, anything to share, I can stay like this. Because in those classes, I'm just regurgitating, peddling oil. How the Japanese put it, peddling oil. The true deshi comes up with his own techniques. Never mind if components are something you recognize from a former system. Ip Man. What's the name? Shabbat Wong Long or something like that? Bruce Lee. People like that he taught. Wing Chun and whatnot. Lee comes up out of that, Mr. Bruce, with Jeet Kune Do. And they're all borrowing heavily from Shaolin. Catacombs to store the knowledge that's just sitting in Shaolin, who borrowed heavily from Damo, who some believe came from East Africa, which is India, East Africa. Anthony Palmore, the one who fight Anthony Elmore, he's a priest, Buddhist, and he teaches heavily on East Africa, aka India, the continent so-called India. Hidakistan, something like that. The Grand Sheikh called it something Stan. East Africa. So, and we can go to the Dr. Alim Bey. Islam Moore, Dr. Alim Bey pointed that out to me. We can go to the hieroglyphics. You'll see them with bow staff, something look like a screamer stick, and all kind of the weapons and improvised weapons. Inshallah. Because I know in the East, in the Far East, they use improvised weapons. The farmer's tools and things like that. A boxer was just showing me last night on a short. The sugar cane. The sugar cane is where that punch came from to the body. So that came from cutting that sugar cane with a specific tool. He showed another tool. Oh, the shovel. He grabbed the shovel and did like this with the real shovel. Threw it to the side. Say, this is where we get our concept of the uppercut from. Let me get more true to form. Might be some students out there. Right? So now, Dr. Alim Bey pointed that out. That these go back hundreds of millennia. So we have many, many people who have contributed to the scrolls, much like the ones the monk Umar escaped with, perhaps with the 5 elders, don't quote me on that. When the King dynasty came down on the Ming dynasty, or replaced the regime of the Ming dynasty, who sanctioned the Shaolin Temple. But the Qing dynasty, or Qing, somebody in the higher ranking said they were afraid of the monks. And they wanted to do away with the temple. So that's where the story of the 5 elders began. And from my studies, it ends shortly after. They're not sure exactly where those 5 elders went when they left Shaolin. And I think Umar the monk was amongst them. I think that was a nun, a female, right? And I've heard some people say a lot of Wing Chun tactics that we have came from a female or made for a female or something they used to say back in the day when I was much younger. I forgot. So we take certain applications, techniques, tools. They're like picking up something off the ground, right? Sometimes you get into an altercation, you wish you had something in specific. I wish I had this. I wish I'd knock him out. So these arts, we have a lot of tools. We ain't showing they break down and do all this fuck saw, bone saw, woo saw, and all that I used to watch. The guardian angel, Shihan Khalil. I was trying to remember his name the other day. Guardian angel. Right? Am I saying that? Yeah, because Chief Rob was just talking about Hell's Angel. Right? So, these are dip fuck saw, bone saw, woo saw. We can use these. These are parries. You can also, they can also double as a strike. Somebody came to grab the side of my head or the side of my shoulder, which is going to cause, which is usually turned downward at an angle. Or inward. My bad. Inward. When they punch or grab like this. I had to go to the inside. But when they grab from the side, it's more of a inside downward angle that you have to go in and get. Because if I go strictly inside, I'm gonna hit something a little off. It's kind of tender there too, but I might miss that particular spot and hit somewhere up in here. It's more here. That's where the most sensitive part of the nerve cluster is, in that specific point of reference. You have a nerve coming along here. Here we got the floating rib. We got all these targets, which should be our primary targets, which will open up to us when the person, human trafficking, we talking about La Diablo of the day, right? Coming out of nowhere, get you. Ooh. Remember that? String around the head, whop, boom, falls to the floor. Tie your butt up about like this. Head to the ankles, wrist tied up to the ankle. Slide a stick through that. You might be rotisserie roast. They don't tell you what's gonna be next, right? So, Kiyosho Jutsu. Sapao Suto. Making it simple. You gotta remember, if you are learning primarily from a sport, combat, viewing, and lessons on the mat or whatever in the ring, you gotta remember, whatever they tell you not to do, because it's against the rules, those are some of the main things you want to do. In a regular situation, you minding your business, might have some little ones with you, come on, holding them, whatever, and I don't have time to get my mace. I got a child's hand here, cradling a child right here, and somebody comes up, but I can scoop kick, pop, right? I can multiple part kick. Holding that child's hand still, because I didn't have time. Cradle this child a little closer like a football, don't crush him. But, bap, bap. Two-part kick, a good one. That wasn't good, that was just demonstration. If I had something to land on, I put more force and power. Bing, bing, right? Hopefully it affords me a chance to put the baby somewhere safe. Maybe if this is like a 4, 5-year-old, 6, say 6, 7, that I could trust to hold the baby. I can look around, see if that person is working with other people. And I might put the baby in this child's hand and go and have all this. And keep that baby behind me and fight that person off. This is real. A lot of stuff we see on things like World Star, TMZ, I just kicked my shoes off, I just saw something like that. Kick the little flip-flops off. Oh, BITCA, 2 female in like bikinis. Oh, okay. See, now we're not talking about that. These 2 people are consenting to have a street cat fight. No holds barred. That's something you should not even verbally escalate to that point. In the real world, where these type of things are happening, that's real stuff. But it's real stupid. This same real world, I want to have every finger, every digit on my finger, both wrists, elbow, forearm, right? All up in here, shoulder joint, clavicle, collarbone, my vertebrae that make up the spine and all that, my hips. I want all this in proper working order. First of all, I might have to run. I might be in a position where I don't have children I'm holding. It's just me. So before I try that mace and try that key between the fingers and all the stuff we learn in the basic self-defense class, I might just want to run, which they usually tell you that first. Even in self-defense class, I might want to run. So all this unnecessary brawling, cat fighting, that's out. You don't need all them people around you, close quarters, near where you live at and all that, to see your tendencies anyway. You need to be somewhere honing your skills. You see old footage of a good example is Bruce Lee. A perfect example is Bruce Lee. You see old footage of Mr. Lee, man, he would practice one kicked like 1,000 times maybe within a workout that involves other things. I've heard rumors he was on cocaine too, but that's beside the point. You have alternatives. Tea, Red Bull, Monster drink. You have alternatives. But I've heard rumors that Mr. Lee was on cocaine. It's kind of hard to not believe when you look at how much output that man had. But I'm not here to mess up his legacy, talking about stuff like that. Because I don't know. I don't know any better. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not going to go there about that man.